Tuning exam finals Neji versus tuning exam finals Sasuke. The fight that we needed to see but never got to. Let's get some base stats out of the way. Sasuke, without any amps from the Chidori or the Sharingan, moves about as fast as Lee without his weights on. Preliminaries Neji, on the other hand, without his Byakugan, based on this statement from Lee, can be argued to be about equal or easily above the weightless Lee speed. Guy saying that Lee can't be surpassed in speed here is more so a direct connection to the earlier statement / warning to the Sand Trio that they have no idea how strong Lee really is. So it's likely Guy's statement is referring to Lee's true speed, especially since Lee needs the massive amp from the Hidden Lotus to be able to outmaneuver Neji comfortably. So Neji's raw taijutsu speed should be relative to a first gate enhanced Lee or faster. Opening the first gate itself should give you a massive 5 times boost to your overall speed. The second gate would push it beyond that, with the third gate pushing it even further beyond. Since Lee needs the speed of the Hidden Lotus to surpass the speed of Neji's Gentle Fist, it means his pure raw body speed should be somewhere above the weightless Lee level. If Neji was in fact slower than weightless Lee, then even with his Byakugan anticipating his attacks, the gap in speed would be much too wide. Neji simply can't be slower than weightless Lee, else you put a first gate amp on top of Lee's already faster speed, and you get Neji getting death in the face just like with Sasuke. Neji then trained for a whole month, mastered Gentle Fist, perfected rotation, and gained his true show of strength, 64 bonds. As such, should be much stronger than he was in the preliminary stages, who would already be faster than, or at least equal to, weightless Lee. Now we go to the battle of the eyes. The best feat for Sasuke's Tomoe by this stage is perceiving the dashes from one-tailed Gaara, who more so matches a mental amp Curse Smart 1 Sasuke Chidori. So Tomoe Sasuke can perceive and react to his own speed amped by Chidori, but gets blissed if not using his Sharingan. While Neji's best feat, when he was weaker in the prelim, is perceiving the Hidden Lotus alongside Tomoe Kakashi. With the Hidden Lotus being so fast, getting like Shikamaru or Sakura can't even perceive it. Same Sakura, who while off-guarded reacted to a bloodlusted bliss from that very same one-tailed Gaara. To reinforce this, Sasuke, without his Sharingan, was able to react to a weaker version of this same Gaara and dodge him. Yet that Gaara matched a mental amp Chidori from that Sasuke in speed. So replace that Sasuke with a fresh weightless Lee, and he should be able to evade that very same Gaara. Now replace that very same Gaara with a 4th gate Lee using the Hidden Lotus versus a base weightless Lee, and I can't logically see him avoiding that. As such, the Hidden Lotus should be much faster than the Chidori. You can even argue that the 1st gate is also faster than Chidori, since a weightless Lee shouldn't be able to dodge a 1st gate amped weightless Lee in this scenario. We know that if a Chidori user is fast enough, they can speedless the opponent even without a Sharingan, meaning without it or a mental amp, Sasuke's Chidori is easily dodgeable by weightless level combatants. Neji has his Byakugan on top of that, which would enable him to perceive Sasuke's strike and anticipate it, unlike Gaara. To reinforce that the Chidori is likely slower than the 1st gate in speed, Curse Mark amped Kimimaro being impressed by a nerfed 1st gate Lee's speed, while a base Kimimaro puts Lee above Naruto. With the amp from the 1st gate, he should be able to speed blast that version of base Naruto. And that very same base Naruto had the perception, reflexes, and speed to counter a full-powered Chidori, despite Sasuke's Sharingan. And no, Sasuke didn't clash on purpose. If Sasuke could have easily avoided Naruto's Rasengan and stabbed him with Chidori, then this wouldn't be his best bet in order to do just that. So Finals Neji should be fully capable of anticipating when he'll strike with Chidori, and he'd be more than fast enough physically to outmaneuver it. Even if you disagree that weightless 1st gate Lee would be able to speed blast that Naruto, it doesn't change the fact that that version of Lee would still be much faster than this Naruto and much more reflexive. You put someone like Neji who has around that level of speed, plus the Byakugan anticipating when Sasuke will strike, it's highly possible that he could avoid it and then tag Sasuke with the Gentle Fist Tenketsu strikes. Especially since he physically scaled to a Naruto using much more chakra than the amounts Sasuke thought were unbelievable amounts of chakra. Naruto's mental amp only made him as strong as he needed to be. Using that very same logic, along with scaling, you can say that this version of Naruto is even stronger than that one, since one was required to fight a mini Shikaku, while the other was required to fight the real thing. We know this version of Naruto used all of his chakra to summon Bunta. We also know the Kyuubi mood used against Neji had so much more. Naruto then gets a mental amp, which enlarges his cloak and gives him a crazy power boost, pushing it way beyond the amp that was already way beyond the amp required to summon Bunta, which by itself was already above this amp, which had Sasuke shook. All of that power was augmenting Naruto's stats, which Neji was able to keep up with it being implied that Sasuke is physically inferior to a Naruto who only has enough chakra to summon Bunta, while Neji was keeping up with so much more and beyond. Base Naruto being jealous of Sasuke's Chidori has nothing to do with the Kyuubi amped one. Naruto does not view the Kyuubi chakra as something he can use when he wants, like Sasuke could with the Chidori. hence why he never even thinks about it, even after failing to summon Gamabunta. So base Naruto right here clearly isn't thinking about himself harmed by the Kyuubi chakra to the point where he can easily summon Gamabunta. This also applies for his best in the leaf statement, since we know Sasuke considers himself inferior to a Naruto strong enough to summon Bunta. As such, the statement can be interpreted as the best of the current participants in their normal states. It's also implied that the mood used against Neji is simply a stable version of his red-eyed form, since we can assume that a non-stable, non-controlled version would most likely look like his red-eyed form. We already know that in terms of raw chakra volume, it can scale to that level or above based on the Gaara situation, where Naruto had Kyuubi eyes, yet still only had the exact amount required to summon Bunta, unlike the mood used against Neji, which had vastly more. And no, Naruto didn't overextend himself by summoning Bunta. We already know that summoning jutsu is a jutsu which requires not that much finesse and fine control. It simply requires a massive amount of chakra. Sasuke's max Chidori speed would be able to speed with a weightless leap, even without the Sharingan's aid, showing that it got much faster compared to its previous mental amped version, who only matched V1 Gaara as opposed to this one who matched V2. We can argue that the mood used against Neji was much faster than V2 Gaara, since it's implied that it would take a V3 Gaara to be able to defeat that Naruto. Yet we know Gaara was underestimated Naruto greatly. If he did so versus a Kyuubi chakra mood Naruto, it's safe to assume that Gaara would have been destroyed. Dial Gaara back down to V2 or V1 and Naruto should run circles around him. Scaling to a Kyuubi-eyed Naruto, who is too fast for Sasuke's Tsutomu to keep up with, should mean that he edges out V2 Gaara in speed. And no, Naruto having the protection amp does not automatically put it above the chakra mode, as Naruto was considered weak for not being able to summon Bunta, while this one would have summoned Bunta and still retained his cloak. Or he could have simply summoned 1000 clones and proceeded to murder version 1 Gaara. As such, he would be considered stronger than any other version used against Gaara. It was also made quite clear that Naruto was severely mental nerfed versus Gaara. Sasuke himself makes note of this, whereas the same thing would have happened with Neji if not for Hinata. So we have Neji physically matching a Naruto, using way more Kyuubi chakra than the Naruto Sasuke thinks is physically superior. Even if by some chance Sasuke forces a rotation, even though the Chidori has the AP to pierce through the rotation, it's likely that it would explode, just like it did in canon, likely leaving both heavily damaged, with Sasuke even more so. Unlike Gaara's Sandom, which tries to stab and spike through the enemy, Neji's rotation actively tries to deflect and repel the power of the opponent, reflecting that energy back onto them. With the Chidori breaching it, it could most likely result in this explosion. If not, Sasuke would simply win from there. But the explosion would be most likely to happen since it happened in canon, and the interaction could be summed up to stabbing through a spinning vortex of chakra, meaning the moment Sasuke gets wrist deep into the rotation, the unpierced sections of the rotation, which would still be in rotation, would either explode or spin around and get Sasuke's hand, redirecting it from Neji. And he can make his rotation wide enough that Sasuke's Chidori won't even get to him. Now as for the curse mark, it's never gonna happen, since Sasuke would either have to use up all of his chakra or get it blocked, and he's not winning with internal damage plus damage from the curse mark. So in conclusion, Neji wins.